evening, everybody. Welcome to our July meeting. Let's get this going. You should be able to see my screen now. So here we go. Everyone see the screen okay? Okay, good. All right, let's get going here. Let's get off with the financials. Our operating account, $8,283. Our savings is $11,518. Our PayPal is $39.29. That's because we're getting a lot of renewals. Our self-insurance is $11,309, and our convention fund is $42.95 for a total of $39,334. Our net monthly was $15.16. I forgot a comma, and the net year to date is $4,097, and it's renewal time, so we get a lot of that. We have 448 members. 275 of us are ARRL members. We have 15 new members and 39 VEs. The other thing that doesn't show here is we have 28 renewals as of last night. So that's great. Everyone's keeping up. So I'm passing on some stuff from Don Shepard, who's been doing some legendary running around and talking to people about our in-person meetings. I'm sure everyone has heard that there is a giant personnel shortage right now. Without getting into politics, it appears that the workforce is not as interested in getting back into the service business, restaurant business. Everybody is lacking personnel and people who are willing to work. If you look, every restaurant, every casino, well, heck, everybody has a help wanted sign, and no one seems to be really answering the call. So we've contacted Tamarack Junction, and Tamarack doesn't particularly seem interested in hosting us. We've talked to several other places, and I won't bore you with the details. However, we got a couple of good ideas. Someone at Field Day walked up and said we ought to talk to the Gold and Silver Club because their RV club goes there. So that's next on the list. Bear with us. We really are trying to do in-person meetings, and we really are trying to do a swap meet. The Tamarack Junction manager said that he would have to get back to us because he has to get approval, much like Cabela's, from the CEO of Tamarack. So we're on hold there. We really are trying to find a place. Contrary to popular belief, we can't just drive into a parking lot and set up. We have to have some permissions. So we're working on it. It's been very difficult, but again, bear with us, and as soon as we can pull something off, we will. Much like the idea of the Gold and Silver, if there is a place that is willing to do a meeting for up to 75 of us, and the price is not $25 a head, because I don't think anyone's going to buy breakfast for $25. We'll definitely investigate that. So if you know of somewhere and you've talked to them and they seem willing to help out, please drop me a note. Let me know. We'll go talk to them too. It's just in this recovery, no one seems really interested. So, Jim, I'd like to give you the reins here for a minute and let you do a report on our field day effort at Washoe Lake, and anyone else who participated. We'll let you have a shot after that. So go ahead, Jim.
Okay, we had a real good turnout. We had 60 people show up over the weekend to stop by and see what was going on. That may be a new record for us. We had 44 sign up for the dinner, and we had 2 walk-ins. A good time was had. We had 304 contacts between everybody, and a lot of metal in the air for antennas and good operating, and a lot of fun, a lot of people sitting around chatting, enjoying visiting again. And it was really a pretty good operation. I really enjoyed it. And, it was rumored the food was very good, high, and that. I'd like to especially thank George Lee for the heavy duty work he did in the kitchen. He really took over and did a great job. We had some other people help, very good. John Fox, Gary Garrett, and his family helped. And the kitchen crew really shined this year. So that's pretty much all I have.
Hey, Wes, would you, I heard you talking before the meeting started. You want to talk about what you did and who you did it with and how it went? Got to unmute yourself, buddy.
Unmute. Yeah, here I am. Can you hear me? Testing 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I says, let's see, myself, Eric, K6CZH, went out with KD7D, Greg Moore. We're supposed to have a few more people there, but they kind of went to the trees, so to speak. I guess they didn't like well, possibly the distance, maybe the that we have, we're out in the middle of a playa, you know what I'm saying? There ain't no trees. So, and, but it's open. So, we had a good time. Once we got set up and started testing things there, we did pretty good. We had a barbecue Sunday after the festivities there on the air, and we had an unexpected guest, apparently a trailer traveler, heard about us and the field day, and he got hold of Greg and asked if he can join us. And he came out, him and his wife, trying to think, most of the kids. One was November Uniform 6 Oscar, and that's the guy. I'm trying to think if his wife is Becky and Joe, and they came out, in an Airstream. And yeah, he was all set up. I mean, he was, this is what he does. He travels and he's got ham radio stuff. He pops up, no problem. Within about a half an hour, 45 minutes, he's set up, ready to rock. So pretty impressive. He's an old boy, and but we had a lot of fun. This is each night, we'd always kind of like get together, and like myself, like I said, I'm a social butterfly. When I get out there, I go one place to another place, and just talk to the people, how they're doing, checking out their equipment, how, in the modes that they're operating on. And this guy, Joe, he all he did was run digital. Did about 302 contacts on digital, and who was it? Eric. Eric height was about a 200 and something contacts. And of course, me, old social butterfly, did about 80. But like I said, my feelings of field day. Any other test, any other time, my butt's in the seat, just hammering away. But on this situation, this is what I do. I like to see who's doing what, when, and where. You know what I mean? What kind of equipment to run, how they're setting it up, this, that, and the other, and especially on the antennas. I just used a standard, 45 4. I was going to get an 80 meters antenna, but with this new RV I got, it kind of took away some funds for that. So I just used my standard 40 through 6 G5 RV. So junior, that is. And it worked well, not a problem with it, and made my contacts. And yeah, it's about 40 feet up in the air. So all is good, So anyway, that's my weekend. It was fun, like I said. And of course, the biggest part was I was in an RV. So wasn't putting up a tent. Can't handle a tent no more. Just getting a little too old, and my knees can't take it. So, yeah, but I helped Eric, who was the only tent camper out there, and helped him out do what he needed to get done at times if he needed it. And if he needed any help, I was there. But yeah, like I said, it was a fun trip. Of course, when I went out there Thursday, and hit a bunch of rain you would not believe. I had 3 thunderstorms, and of course I got washed got dirty, got washed again, got dirty, got washed again. So I got out there. I'm looking, of course, mind you, I'm looking at the soil as I'm passing through all this stuff, how much it's just turning things into mush or slush or whatever you want to call it. Got out there where we were, and dry as a bone. Dry as a bone. I asked, "Did you get any rain?" Nah, we get any. Got a couple drops at it. So that weekend is pretty cool, but it got cold and windy. Well, I shouldn't say cold and windy, cool and windy. I had to put a jacket on because it definitely got cool. Rest of the days, I stayed until Monday, and had good weather. So, I mean, Sunday night, I think, was the best night, man. It was just beautiful out there. Of course, like I said, we did see the big moons. That was cool. You know, I was facing where I had the moons coming right in my window. It's pretty cool. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, that's about it. I'll send it back to you, John. That's my field day.
Thank you, Wes. Appreciate it. Anybody else have a field day report they want to share?
Yeah, K6ST for the group in Truckee.
Yeah, go ahead, Barry.
Yeah, so we had a 3A station up in Truckee, actually at the Stampede Boat Overflow parking lot. Had to get permission. Lots of hoops to jump through. Worked good. We had probably about 13 hams in total that stopped by. Probably about 6 people operated. The most was CW. One of the guys is field testing a new Elecraft K4, so he brought that out, which was kind of fun. Another guy had a K3 and had a 20 and a 40 antenna, and another guy did digital. So it was good. I got on top of stuff. We got a lot of bonus points. We did about 1,000 queues in total, of which most of them were CW. I don't know, 800 or so, 800 were CW, and the rest were digital and phone. Got about 1,250 points, so lots of fun. And I understand there was another group, a couple more groups, one in Carson and somewhere south of Carson, and one was at the DEM. So those are the only other 2 that I know of. Anybody else have field day? I think it's back to you, John.
All right, thanks, Barry. Well, everybody, I think the biggest thing to do is thank everyone for coming out and for whatever field day effort you did. Appreciate it. It was definitely a good time down at Washoe Lake. I wound up in the emergency room Sunday with a headache I couldn't get under control with my normal medication, or I'd have been out there the whole weekend. It was a good time. It was really nice to be able to see everybody, and the amount of coordination and work that was put on by Jim and the SNARS field day volunteers was great. So it was a lot of fun, and one of the coolest points for me was seeing Peter DeBay working with and I don't know whose daughter that was. Do you, Jim? Do you know who that was?
I gotta open the mic up for Jim. Go ahead, Jim.
Jim, you're muted.
Whoops, I hit the wrong button. Yeah, I don't know who that was, but there was also 2 other young ladies beyond that worked with Clint and got on the air also. So we had 3 youth contacts.
Yeah, that was pretty cool because she was kind of tentative at first, and then Peter got her on 40 and she made some contacts and had a great time. That was the one I saw, and it was really cool to see potentially the next generation talking on the air. And that was one of the things that I noticed when I was listening, because I ran digital the whole time. I ran digital solar, and I was listening to the other people around me and hearing the simple amount of kids on the air. I think the effort of all of the amateurs trying to reach out to the youth like Barry does. I think it's great to start to hear some younger kids on the air and young ladies on the air, and actually ladies all together on the air. I think it's good that we're growing the hobby and we're bringing other people into it and diversifying it a little. All right, well, that's all the field day reports.
John,
What? Who's
Yeah,
yelling?
no, that young lady, I don't remember her
Peter,
name.
Easy, buddy.
I don't
Peter,
remember her.
Back off your mic a little, thanks.
Yeah, I don't remember her name. She made 3 contacts and she would have stayed and done more, but Dad had to drag her home, so she bailed.
I know she almost left you a tablet as a tip.
Almost.
Well, good deal. All right, everybody. This is your club, so it's your time. Comments from members. Can you make it so anyone who wants to speak can unmute? If you have something to say, please unmute and give your call. Or if you don't have a call, your name, and take a shot at it.
This is Howie, WB2AWQ.
Go ahead, Howie.
Yeah, Ken and I did field day from home. I couldn't get to the club because I couldn't leave my wife alone. So that was kind of a bummer. But we made about 450 contacts and all CW, by the way. And I'm just curious, Barry, what was the call of the club station you were at up there?
6 November, Victor.
Okay, thank you. I did work them on CW, by the way. But we had a good time. We only worked 2D. Ken was with me, so that was kind of neat. Ken and I have been doing field day together for 28 years. Thank you.
AE5CA.
Go ahead, Clint.
I just wanted to thank everybody that helped put together that field day. I felt like I didn't make an awful lot of contacts, but there was 4 contacts in particular that from my station that were memorable to me. 2 of them were made by my 7-year-old granddaughter and 2 were made by my 5-year-old granddaughter. And just those 4 contacts alone was worth the whole effort of setting up the station and getting everything ready to go. And it was fun to have them out there. I hope they didn't interfere too much with everybody else, but I enjoyed it. I know a couple people took a couple pictures of the kids when they were making contacts. I'd love to see those if you've got them. AE5CA@clints.site, my email.
Awesome. Thank you, Clint. Anyone else?
Yeah, K5HK, Carl. And yeah, I just want to comment. I'm glad to see some groups out there again, despite the weather. But, you know, we can all contribute to field day and other activities such as field day, as Howie and Ken did, and as I did, and a bunch of others of us here. We got on 1D or 2D or however many operators from our home station or mobile or whatever, and made some contacts. I didn't make a lot of contacts. I made some on FT8 and most of them on 6 meters, I might add, and it wasn't all that open as I recall. But and also on CW. And I think I made 1 sideband contact. I didn't want to overdo it because I have a voice that was made for CW. Thank you. And keep participating. That's how we make the event what it's supposed to be. If they don't have nobody to talk to, they don't have nobody to talk to out there in the field, or vice versa. Thank you.
KG7QXC.
Thank you, Carl. Go ahead, Wes.
Yeah, one of the things I thought was rather funny, actually. Well, I got a lot of different states. The ones I was talking to, making contacts for, is that they remarked about the 1 Bravos. They said, "Boy, you people are really into 1 Bravo, aren't you?" You know, apparently we're out there in the field and they're not. You know, they're at home. So I says, "Yeah, we may be a desert state, but we like our desert." So, anyways, they did. They did. I mean, I got more. I couldn't believe how many contacts I had that says talking about the 1 Bravo, because everybody I talked to, I only talked to, I think 4 1 Bravos or 2 Bravos or whatever on my whole list, you know, and it was just funny to strike me like to strike a thing like that. I go, wow, I guess we're doing something right. We're out in the field. So yeah, and I talked to one guy. He says, "You're the first one Bravo I talked to," and this guy is in California. So what's that all about? You know what I mean? I'm not that see he was the only guy out there. So I'm just saying, but it really it says, "You're my first one Bravo." He was so excited he just couldn't stand it. And so we talked for about 10 minutes. Apparently he's in the middle of he's down in San Joaquin Valley on a hill, and doing pretty good. He was QRP, believe it or not, and he had a heck of a signal. So yeah, it was it was a fun contact, and but yeah, I just baffled by all the comments about one Bravos. So hey, right on, we're doing something right over here. We're out in the field. Hoorah! I'm done.
Thank you, Wes.
Quick comment.
Bob, W7VD.
Yeah, I was there when Clint's 7-year-old granddaughter made that contact, and the look on her face was I wish I could have gotten a picture of that, but the smile went from ear to ear.
Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, just wanted to say as a member of the club and my first attempt or my first gathering at Washoe Lake, I just wanted to say that I think the club owes a great big giant vote of thanks to Jim Shepard for doing such a great job of putting that thing together. So thank you, Jim. That was the ease of walking into my first field day experience at Washoe Lake was amazing. So thank you for all the hard work you put in putting that together.
Oh, don't throw him too many flowers. He won't be able to get his head through the door. No, it was a hell of a job.
Fox, you have something?
Any
Yes,
other
John.
comments?
John, KF7 KTC. I really was amazed at what George did. George really pretty much took over the kitchen operations, and so that makes me feel good that there's is taking over that responsibility for field day.
Thanks,
Yeah,
John. And
absolutely. And I want to thank you for all the years that you took over that responsibility as well. It is nice to see that the torch was passed and the food really was
Hey, John, we doubled his salary from yours.
Yeah, I something was going on, but he obviously he had some experience in that area, and that's really what made it, I think, so successful. Also, I want to thank Jim for coming up with a way to cook the tri-tip to perfection. It's so hard to do it when you're just doing it over a grill. And there's this method that I was not familiar with, and that's why the tri-tip turned out so well.
thanks, Sean. I got a question for Howie. You want to mention about the special edition of the field day static and your call for pictures and stories?
Yes, anybody who did work field day, if you took pictures, you got some stories. We'd certainly like them for the summer special edition of Crackling Static. July 15th is my soft deadline on that. And you can send your information to me, wb2awq@arrl.net. We'd sure like to have them. The more the merrier. The bigger that thing is, the better it is. Thank you.
Thanks, Howie.
All right, last call. Anyone else have something to say before we move on to our presentation?
Oh, there I am. Huh. KG7 Curious, you got one comment or one question for John Fox. Hey, John, how long were you doing it for W7TA? Hello. Mr. John Fox. Hello. Did he leave? He's still there.
I'm here.
Okay,
Yeah.
John.
I'm having some issues here. I'm on a wireless connection, and so I keep dropping it. And it looks like, let me see if I can get my video back up. Just a second. Okay, I think I'm back. Can you all see me?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I was cooking ever since, let's see, the first field day that I went to was up there on Mount Rose, up at the
2011, John.
2011, was that it?
That was it.
Yeah, so yeah, except for I think 1 year, my wife and I were sick. We had a cold, and we stopped in. Okay, we just stopped in and said hello and quickly left, but I didn't do cooking that 1 year. So I guess from 2011.
Wow, it's a long time. I was talking to I'm trying to think who was talking about it, but I said, how they made they're talking about how good the food was this year, and it's talking about tri-tip. Well, they pretty much have tri-tip just about every year that I know of. At least the ones I have been to, and of course they had stuff on the side as well. Hamburgers, hot dogs, whatever. And but they guys they couldn't reckon, they didn't know who you were, who did last year or whatever, And I said, I'm pretty sure it was John Fox. And he said, did you have an assistant there, John?
I've had various assistants. My last wife, before she passed away, she helped a lot most years, and other people just kind of stepped in, volunteered and helped out. But I would say for the most part, most years it was just me.
Okay, yeah, right. Well, I kind of figured as much, but they talked about, he was a tall guy. Well, John, you're not short, so it's, I said, it's gotta be John Fox, man, because he did most of them from what I know, that I've been to, or whatever, and continued on, So anyway, that kind of settles anything. It settles what I know. So thank you very much, John.
And again, thank you to everybody. All right, one more time, last call. Okay, and I want to thank everyone. I'm getting some direct messages about places that we might try for breakfast and for swap meets, and I appreciate that. You can always get me on Telegram or n7roj@snars.org. All right, I'm going to close comments and get set up for our presentation. We have the Amateur Radio Emergency Data Network. I don't know how to pronounce that. AREDN. It's a well, I'll let Rob talk about it. So I'm going to stop my screen share. Do you want to stop recording so we can get ready?